Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rivalz Race Chat. Clinton Jeffrey along with Adam Ross here on another Tuesday edition of our weekly chat. Strange times, Adam. Good to see you, buddy.
Strange times indeed, but here we are to the miracle of the interwebs.
Yeah, I mean, how fortunate are we that we got our stuff together in this platform about a year ago. So we've worked out a lot of the bugs. It's allowed us to stay communicating with all of our racing family and friends, let's say, and keep the message strong. So that's one good thing. And while we're at it, I'm super proud of all of our iRacing leagues and associates in that regard, who have really, kind of had the ball swing into our court a little bit. And we'll talk a little bit about that on a national and a local level here on tonight's program. But kind of a free-form show tonight, Adam. We're asking the fans and viewers to jump in, help share the broadcast, help us bring in the topics you want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to hear from people. What I'd like to do, Clint, we'll talk about ideas we have for upcoming shows. You and I have been talking an awful lot about those things, what we want to do, given these curious times that we're in. I think it's time for you and I to step up and kind of play host to people that I think really need to see each other. I mean, people need to socialize. We need to be sociable. We've got a huge community that we need to bring together and spend some quality time with.
Yeah, I meant to tell you, I didn't want to let any cats out of the bag yet. Let's just say that we're working on a few community type events here online, and I think people are going to be happy with what we're come up with, and hopefully we can get an announcement out tomorrow. I'd really like to get something out this weekend and find a way that we can all continue to gather and talk on this platform. So jump in sooner than later, folks. Let us know what you want to discuss. We've got a few things that we're going to get through tonight, but this show's your show just as much as it's ours, and we'd love to hear the things you want to discuss, because I'm sure everybody's cooped up with a lot of things on their mind, Adam, and a lot of different, a lot of different concerns about where we stand with the whole health of the community and the country and the world, for that matter. And where do we go from here? And it's funny, I think you said it, and I mean, I don't want to say anything's funny. And before I get any further, I should go back and say that I should really apologize for last week. I came on wearing a stupid gas mask to try and make light of the situation, and it's gotten a lot worse. And I came on the air right after, in our chat after, and said, look, that was dumb. I got to be better than that. But I think, when you look at it, you said to me 2 weeks ago, can racing survive COVID-19? And I think it was a bit of facetious, kind of a joke. Back then, we didn't know how serious things were going to be and that everything would get shut down, and how poignant it's become now, 3 weeks later, since you made the statement just in passing. I mean, you and I say stupid shit all the time, but that's one that kind of stuck with me. And yeah, I think the answer is yes, we can. So I'll pose it back to you. Can racing survive the situation we're in right now?
Well, not only can it survive, Clint, it's going to survive, because the human spirit's going to come back. You and I have not experienced this in our lifetimes. In fact, I dare say our parents haven't experienced anything like this in their lifetimes. This is unique, but humanity has been through crises before. Usually they come in the form of world wars, things like that. So when things bounce back, people are going to need that release. And we are going to be there at Ohsweken Speedway to host races with our arms wide open, welcoming people into the gates. And you better believe people are going to be excited to be back. So yeah, is racing going to be back? Yeah, better than ever, most likely. We just have to get through this difficult time, and we're all in this together.
Yeah, I think racers are the one family that's going to work to get this back on track. I mean, for all of us, it's not really a hobby. It's a family lifestyle for many of us. It's bred generations deep. And, we're going to work everything from the management and track side, promotional side, to get it up and running. And I think let's talk about a bit of the mental health situation. You have your Mindwell session coming up this Thursday. We're going to live stream it because of the situation. But, pretty much the last 4 of the 5 nights, I think I went to bed fairly depressed, reading the news and just thinking, man, are we going to make it? For me, my career has been, for the last 5 years and 25 before that, but 5 years full time, has been trying to bring thousands of people together at once. And now that's a different way of looking at things today. I'm certain it's going to be different in 2 months when we're supposed to get started, but I think I take a bit of a bit of look from the national leagues. You know, you look at the NFL; they're still making trades and deals. And Tom Brady was hot news last week, and you think, geez, their business is bringing 80,000 people together, and they're still business ahead with $1 million deals every day. So I think the world will bounce back, but man, it's tough on all of us. And I think maybe that's a good segue into your Mindwell session, Adam. Maybe you should talk a bit about what's going to happen Thursday if people come out and watch what you got going on.
Well, if you think I'm sweating now, Clinton, wait until Thursday night because I'm pretty nervous about it. So the last 3 months, I've hosted sessions at a coffee shop in Cambridge to talk about depression, anxiety, mental illness. I've brought in a lot of people in the industry to chat about their experience, and we've had a great following, particularly from the racing crowd. I think I have a certain comfort level with people around racing, so they've been great to come out and support. Um, we're trying to build a community, grow a community of people who are affected by mental illness and share our stories. We're supposed to have one this Thursday night in Cambridge, but with everything being closed, we were going to stream this session anyway because I felt it was time. I wanted to put it out there, which is the name of my organization. Put it out there. Even though we can't hold it live, we're going to do it live online and bring people together this way in this same type of forum instead of being at GeForce TV. It is going to be on Facebook and on YouTube on my page, Adam Out There. And I look forward to chatting with people and sharing a little bit about my experience with anxiety and depression. And Clinton, just to the point now where everybody knows someone who has struggled with mental illness. So, and in this crisis specifically, these are really challenging times for a lot of people. So it'll be good to come out Thursday night, 7:00 p.m. We're gonna come online. We're gonna chat for a couple of hours. We're gonna talk. We're gonna listen. We're gonna share, and I hope it goes real well. I appreciate the support that you have given to me, the moral support, and look forward to seeing what we put together Thursday night. Someone who has struggled with mental illness. So
I think it's an important thing you're doing, and I think it was very brave for you to come out with the things and talk about it. You know, it's tough to come out and say these things, and I think you're opening up a lot of us to talk about our anxiety and things like that, and it's a great thing. So if you can be with us. So tonight, Adam, we were up and down on our rundown on the side of the screen here. It's where we throw in our topics. We were kind of up and down on what we're gonna have. We had a couple guests cancel on us because of other things going on, and we're okay with that. But we said we're just going to chat. Let's just go on and chat, and then I come back and you've got a whole new string of topics after my coffee or Pepsi break. So let's talk about it. Try not to smile. What's that all about?
So I don't even know where this came from. I think a friend of mine. Well, let me tell you a story because we've got time, Clinton. So as you know, you've been a big supporter of iRacing and the leagues we run, but you haven't turned many laps behind the wheel. I enjoy my racing. I get online. I run more asphalt stuff, but it's been really fun. And I compete in our Xfinity League on Wednesday nights, and things are starting to go a little better and a little better. And through our broadcast, I've made a new friend. I believe his name is Doug, but he's got 3 or 4 names in the email that he sends to me. So I get. You ever see the movie Hoosiers, the basketball movie with
Yes, I
Gene
have.
Hackman? I
Yes.
get these notes from Doug talking all about the track we're going to race the next Wednesday, what to watch for, what line I should run, how I should work on the setup, and I keep these things in mind. Then he gives a follow up after the race. Hey, you did great here. You didn't do so well here. What are you looking forward to? So it's been really neat, the connections that we've been able to make with our iRacing and real racing. But I believe it was him who shared this video, and I shared it to my Facebook page. So if anyone is friends with me on Facebook, you can go on my page because with the music, it is 10 times better. We can't show it with the music, Clinton, but if this doesn't make you smile, seeing one of NASCAR's greats, Morgan Shepherd, who is now, I think he's about 80 years old now, still a big part of the sport. But when these videos were done, this is basically 30 years ago, maybe even more, of him showing off some moves back in the day during rain delays, I guess Morgan Shepherd would go to the hauler, pull out his roller skates, and put on a show for the fans. Obviously, it wasn't raining here, but this is to a Kenny Rogers tune, and look at these moves. All right, tell me that doesn't make you smile right there. It's it,
He's got him, that's
it's
for
just
sure.
the hair that, oh man. There's a couple of videos and it got shared around Facebook, and then someone shared me a different shot of him, which I think may have been during a rain delay. Here it is here with his fire suit on and everything, just entertaining the fans. Happy guy. We don't do stuff like this anymore at the races. You know, everything moves at such a quick pace. You got to get on to the next thing, get on to the next thing. But I dare say if we had people in our family with skills like this, I mean our racing family, we would want to know it, which should be a segue to you. Run with that, Clint.
Yeah, what's your stupid talent? We want to know what it is. We'd love to put it. Now I'll throw one back to you.
Not a
You're
stupid talent. That like that. If I had those moves, I'd be showing them off.
okay. Granted, stupid was a bad thing. Unique, unique talent. What
You
can you do?
perfect.
Or an unexpected talent. You know, something that people might not expect you to be able to pull off. But you're the NASCAR announcer. Jacasa has brand new gorgeous pavement. I say we throw a challenge out to the NASCAR Pinty Series drivers, who's going to roller skate out on old school roller skates, not rollerblades, the old 8-wheel babies, and come sliding out of the pits to Adam Ross's introduction for driver interviews. Um, there's got to be a good something we can put together for a deal like that, because I think that would be pretty slick.
It probably would be. You know me. I'm game for anything. And we just got a huge piece of breaking news. Are you checking your Facebook messages?
No, I didn't see it.
Open
What
it
is it?
up. And I can't
Well,
just tell you, Spencer. Can you put that up on the screen, because this would be our biggest story of the night. We'll wait for Spencer to. You can't do it from that message. I'm going to copy and paste it into our
you know
chat.
you're the worst. You're the worst chat host ever because you got all these viewers at home and you're not supposed to keep secrets from them. I can't even
Not keeping
decipher
a
where I'm
secret.
supposed
I'm
to be
building
going.
suspense. You dick. Why do we have subtitles here?
Well, you're horrible at building suspense. You just piss people off. Maybe it's
Well,
just me. Maybe I've had enough
that's
Adam
part of my
Ross for the
charm.
day.
It's
You
part
know
of
what
my
my
charm
favorite part of
also.
the show is? At 10 o'clock, I get to shut off and not hear from you. That's one thing. We never talk after the show. We just leave each other alone
Not
until the
really.
next day.
It's
But
family time. No,
yeah.
I know your favorite part of the show is picking out your goofy attire. Now I know I look a little like Princess Leia, but you never disappoint. Check this out. This weekend, there's a Land of Legends Invitational on iRacing, and Canada Joe Plazik is working on a deal to get into that race. That's a piece of news.
Joe was over racing for a while now. He's been just kind of crapping on any suggestion to get him back in a car. He didn't seem to want any part of it. But hey, to get him back involved, I know we know Joe because he's from our neck of the woods. But man, he was a superstar in the states. Ton of fans down central New York when Canada Joe would come to town, and you know the first one with the big rig and really kind of showing the way up there was the big when I got into
Yeah,
the sport. It was awesome, awesome to see it
big
all
big
come together.
draw. And his crew chief for a long time, quite sadly, Kent Peckham, just passed away in the last month or so. So sad news there. Someone who's affiliated with Joe, and man, he had a long, tough battle. Um, Lost that fight about a month ago. Speaking of losing fights, the next item on our list, the great Kenny Rogers. What a shame that his life ended right at the climax of the beginning of this COVID-19 crisis, because it really, I don't want to say it was swept under the rug, but with so much going on in the world, I feel we haven't had time to digest this. Kenny Rogers, to me, is like Hulk Hogan, um, Mr. T. There's people who are larger than life. They're just celebrity. Not like name recognition. Everybody knew who Kenny Rogers was, and Brewster Baker has passed away.
Yeah, I think for us racing fans growing up, I mean, Six Pack meant the world to us. It was the one racing movie that really spoke to the dirt fans, and I think it was everybody's dream, you know, to start on the dirt tracks and make it to NASCAR, and to get that the call up to race for the Big Ford team. That was awesome. And still, if you get a chance, go back and watch. I know a lot of people have been revisiting the Brewster Baker um, movie Six Pack the past few weeks. So it's been what an amazing movie it is. If you've not seen it, you got to check it out. And me, Adam, I grew up in a country and bluegrass family, so Kenny Rogers was huge for sure. And you know, how can you not respect the gambler? And let's talk about that too. He was involved in sprint car racing, right? He was the gambler chassis was because of the Kenny Rogers sprint car racing team. So he was really one of us, and sad to see
I
him move
didn't
on.
know that. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it came out on the weekend. Geez, where's our sprint car fanatics who can tell us what the name of the team was? It's not coming to the top of my head, but yeah, he was definitely involved in the Gambler chassis was because of Kenny Rogers and the Kenny Rogers sprint car team down in the States. So,
And
um,
if anybody wants to tell me how I got my subtitles turned on Facebook and how I can turn them off, that'd be great. But we must be enunciating fairly well tonight, Clinton, because all of the comments are coming through pretty much the way we've said them. You ever see that before?
are, are you watching on YouTube or on
No, that's
Facebook?
on my Facebook.
No, I didn't know Facebook had that. I know YouTube, I get the closed captioning sometimes, but any topics you guys want us to talk about, let us know. We'd love to talk about them here for you today. Um, let's talk about the Ushweekend meetings were fairly successful on Sunday, Adam. We hosted them online. That's another thing that we had to adjust our way of maneuvering here with this COVID virus. So we had micro sprint meetings and our four-track division meetings on Sunday. We hosted them here live on GeForce TV and Facebook, which was awesome. It got everybody a chance to get involved and watch along and participate as we rolled out the rules for the micro sprints and a few other things. So we're excited, and thanks for you guys helping out there. I think it was certainly a fairly seamless transition. I heard nothing but good reviews on it, and the fact that we could get the message out there. But the hot topic from that, Adam, was the number of car counts. And Doug Leonard had been messaging us this morning and sent out some good points on what car numbers are going to look like at Oshweekend Speedway. It's been pretty good so far. We've had the numbers of since today. 27 minis have already registered, 21 Thunderstocks, 29 crates, and 16 360s. But he also sent me a message today and said a lot of the big names aren't on that list. Specifically, the 360 guys, they're typically late when it comes to registration and stuff like that. But the names he mentioned were on the list. Any of the Steyrs guys, so that'd be Hoopnin, Porter, Aaron Turkey, Glenn Steyrs. The Browns weren't on that list yet. Davey Belt was another one that came to mind. There are a whole bunch of drivers still not on that list that we expect to go. But great to see 6 rookies have already signed up for the crates, and there's more out there that we know of who haven't actually publicly announced their intentions yet. But I know they've got cars in the shops and are intending on racing on 2020. So things are not slowing down our weekend at all. We're on full ramp up as far as car counts go. The meetings went really well, and everybody seems to be on board for another fantastic season. So make sure you check those out. They're updated weekly on the Ushweekend website. So check that out. But kind of cool to
And
have all those guys involved.
so, Matt Farnham, to answer your comment, yeah, we want to talk racing anytime. I've been talking to Clint. I want to do a full show dedicated to the 4 divisions at Ushweekend Speedway, talk about the rosters, talk about who's going to be racing with us full time, talk about what we can expect. The other thing I pitched to Clinton, and I don't know if he even liked this idea, but I'm going to bring it up on the air so he has to consider it. I want to sit down, for example, and plug in, say, you, Matt, Dylan Westbrook, Scott Kruder, Mac Demand, Corey Turner, whoever we can get, and watch a sprint car race. Just watch some of the features from last year. Talk about what's about to happen. Talk about what you were going through at the time. Just kind of broken down video. We've got a little bit of time on our hands, but I think it'd be really interesting to get a bunch of our stars together online, socially distant from each other, and just watch these races and get an idea of the personalities behind it, or maybe what. I guarantee I forget what's going to come up whenever we watch races again because I don't have that specific a memory. But I can bet you drivers remember exactly what's going to happen next if things got exciting. I think that might be interesting for our viewers to see things broken down like that. If you think you'd participate, let us know.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, I'm always shocked, you know, talking to some of these drivers after the races and how they recall every lap. It seems, and us on the outside, I mean, it's a blur. I'm surprised at how they can go back and meticulously remember. Oh yeah, he cut me off on lap 3.5, and I'm like, wow, man. When I drove a car, I'm hanging on for dear life, just trying not to wreck. Never mind cataloging everything that goes on in the deal.
So
Um,
let's get our first roster scoop, Clinton, right now. Matt Farnham, are you going to run more 360 sprint car races this year? Can we expect to see him maybe even on a weekly basis at the Big O on Friday nights, or what? We'll give Matt
yeah,
a chance to type up that answer, but that's what's on my mind right now, Clint.
the other thing we talked about, and we had Doug Leonard on the program with us on Sunday. We're eliminating double V mains as much as we can at Osh Weekend and trying to keep it to 3 heats as much as possible. That means more cars out there, more competitive stuff, and the B mains are going to be wild in every class on Friday night for sure. Because in some of the divisions, you may see up to a full field of cars in the B main trying to get in to the A feature, which is going to be super exciting. And also proud to announce that our MAV TV deal's back. And I know we're on MAV TV today, which was awesome in the states. So that's the gift that keeps on giving for our guys. We've had a ton of airtime on MAV TV across North America since last summer, and it's been awesome to have that going on. The other thing I want to talk about, Adam, is I went to Toronto today to voice some stuff for the APTN. And if you're not from Canada, that's the Aboriginal People's Television Network. It's a national network. It's actually the one network that's carried on every service provider in Canada. And every basically, if you have cable or satellite, you probably get it. It's where they're going to feature a documentary program called Friday Night Thunder, and they filmed it all last season at Oshweekend. And I went out there and filmed some voiceovers today, and just to tie things together. And I can tell you, Adam, I was hearing your voice a lot on the program, calling the races in the background. They've done an absolutely wicked job of catching all the footage at Oshweekend, and super excited. They're hoping to get it out in May, and I'm hoping to hear back, but I hadn't yet, on a confirmation for season 2 to be filmed this year. But we were going to play a clip, Adam, but we found out that we don't have rights to it. We actually got a copyright strike against the channel last time we played it because it's got Derek Miller's Friday Night Thunder song in there. So we're just waiting to get the rights written over to us. Derek said he'd give it to us, no problem, but we don't want to get in trouble with the Facebook police or the YouTube cops, I should say. So what we're going to do is we'll wait till we get that. But man, I cannot wait for the Friday Night Thunder show to come out. It shows Osh Weekend in such a cool light, and it's amazing to have them. And we're so lucky to have a documentary going on plus live TV. We're in a good spot right now.
It tells an important story, also. I mean, and Spencer, go ahead and throw up those graphics when you get a chance. There's the comment from Matt Farnham, and then the comment from Dave Hammy on YouTube if you get a chance. But Clinton, there was a time it was a big deal for people to go to the res and watch car races. So Matt Farnham makes it official. He'll be at Oshweekend Weekly in the 7NY. Over the course of decades, over the course of many years, you weren't really going onto the res anymore. You were just going to Oshweekend Speedway. It's where people hung out on a Friday night. Well, this kind of takes us back to where there is, and there always has been, but there's so much native pride. And they should be so incredibly proud of what they do there at the racetrack and what it has allowed for people that APTN cared enough to make a documentary about it. It's really, really cool, in my opinion.
Why I know you're gonna love it because it's all the stuff you clamor for all the time with us is more behind the scenes stuff, more what it takes and what the teams go through. So I'm excited to see it come out. I've only got to see the highlight reel that they showed and we showed at the banquet, and what I saw a couple clips today to tie in. But man, it's the level of camera work they've got and the angles and just it's awesome, awesome, super exciting. I get chills every time I see the clips. So watch for that to come out. We'll definitely be pushing it as we go. Back to Matt Farnham for a second. He said he's going to be there in the 7NY. But what class? Is that 360? Crate, what's your full-time gig going to be, Matt? Great, the car's going to be there,
That's
but
a
what
good question.
division are you going to be in?
I
No.
can't see him going back to a crate sprint car after the success he had in the 360, but either way, the competition is great. And Spencer, that leads us well into the comment from GoGo Gamble on YouTube. It's a fair comment, Clint. It's a good comment. I am not crazy about it.
No.
Thoughts
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 on
on
a,
a
you read it and I'll
rookie
answer.
crate thoughts on a rookie crate sprint division if numbers continue to rise in coming years, similar to rookie sportsmen at other tracks.
For one, no. For two, I'm not a fan of the rookie sportsman at the other tracks either. For 60 years around here, you had to work your way up through the ranks or just jump in like double dutch in the middle and make it happen. I'm not a fan of the rookie sportsman races simply because it's watered down. You get six guys out there. It just, and I'm sure it has worked. Ransom's worked it up. I don't want to talk down, but just no. I think our rookies have done a fantastic job in the past couple of years jumping into the deep end. You look at last year, Adam. Our first race in the crates ended up being an action sprinter race at Merrittville where 6 or 7 rookies showed up. They never raced a car before. You don't think I was shitting my pants as the race promoter and director thinking, what are we going to have here tonight? It turned out to be awesome. They just worked it out. I don't think we need it at this point in time. That's one thing we're going to push. And I get this from many divisions. Not necessarily about a rookie, but splitting them up. Can we make 2 divisions? Can we have double features? I just feel as the guy, managing Oshwegan Speedway right now, we're in a prime position to put on Class A, first class racing. We got car counts. If you get in there, you got to work your way in. And like we said, if you want to be guaranteed a starting spot at the front, you can go back to street stock where you can run like crap for 3 weeks and start on the pole. I mean, but if you're in sprint car racing, it's big time, big league racing, the best of the best. When the Outlaws have 60, 70 cars show up, they don't say, oh, we need 2 features, guys. The best 24 guys on that night get to race. Doug Leonard's kind of kept me in the box a little bit because I would have probably started all the mini stocks every night. But Doug said, look, you got to make these guys qualify. You got to make it prestigious and knowing and I mean I raced with a mediocre team with my family for many years, and I've said this before. We were a 14th to 18th place car, but on the nights when 40 cars showed up and we could qualify through the heats of the B main, those were the wins for us. So I think we stick where we are, keep pushing. The best of the best are going to make it, and the rest of the guys are going to have to get it together or unfortunately go back. And I don't mean to sound like a prick, but that's just the way it is. A couple
No,
other
I
comments. Go ahead, rebuttal to that, Adam, and a couple of things that we want to go back to.
I can't rebut because I agree with you. I think the concept is nice, but that concept in terms of entertainment, not really. And you know why? Because a grade 9 won the championship this year. So would you force him
14
to
years
run
old.
with the crate rookies? Would you force that on him, or would you let him run with the pack? So I don't dislike the idea. Like, I don't want to disrespect the idea, but I think for the product that we have at Oshwegan, and for the message we're trying to deliver, and for the entertainment product we're trying to put out, I like what we've got.
100%. There were a couple comments there, and now I'm trying to go back to them and find out what they're. Okay, so Matt has said he'll be in the 360. Man, I can't find that comment I saw there. You got anything else on it? Oh, one was the pinball car. So with the kids being
Yes.
off school, right now, Dave Hammy asked about the pinball car that the high school students at St. Thomas More in Hamilton were building for Mike Iverson. Trevor Young, who's one of the teachers there and one of our racers, the guy who kind of spearheaded this whole deal with the auto shop teacher at St. Thomas More, he messaged me when it all went down and school got closed. He said a lot of the major work had been done, right? They've already got everything mounted in. The fuel cell was in. I think they got the body back on. It was all ready to go. They were just putting the final tune-up in it, and we were going to get it wrapped. Trevor said if the kids don't get back to school in enough time for us before the season's got to start, he will bring it home and they'll get it finished one way or another. But most of the major work, and I hope I'm not stepping on my boundaries, I would say 85 to 90% of it had already been done. And so it will be out ready to race regardless of what happens with the school year. They're going to get that one done and ready for pinball. But we're excited to see him out there. It's going to be awesome.
Let's let's talk about a project that did get completed with a mini stock. Spencer, go ahead and throw up that image. We need to get Rich Schwarzenberg on the show here in the next couple of weeks, because what a great job they did with this Motorama program. Got so many people involved with this project, building a mini stock race car that weekend, and boy, oh boy, does it ever look great. Spencer gave me heck for sending too many pictures of it, but that's a sharp looking race car, Clint.
Yeah, they did an amazing job getting it all wrapped up. I think they just got it wrapped up today, if I'm not mistaken, because I was looking at pictures of it yesterday. So that was amazing. Super cool. What a great project. And Rich sent me a message right after the Motorama show. He said, "Thanks for the idea, guys. Your project inspired this one, and that's great that we could do that. And hopefully, these two projects inspire more people." Now, that car looks so good, Adam. It's going to be a shout out to Steve Lyons at Creative Edge. He's going to have to up the ante a bit and make sure Pinballs is looking really slick and ready to rock too.
That's what racing needs to be. Someone does something, someone else does it a little different, or a little better, or a little faster. That's when it's fun. You have to have multiple entities, people playing off each other, and it gets really, really cool. And I know we beat this drum quite a bit, Clinton, but racing is in such good shape in our area. We are so fortunate to be in Southern Ontario right now, because there's people investing money in speedways and investing in race cars and race teams, and it's a good time to be a race fan.
For sure, we see our rivals Elite. They're racing at Lernerville tonight, and iRacing has really been in the forefront this week a lot, Adam. It's been the one sport where our sport can take the lead ahead of stick and ball sports, let's say, because they're not able to simulate their action as good as we can. And, nobody would sit around and watch a simulation of LeBron James playing, basketball. But in racing, it's acceptable, it's exciting. And that's what we've got going on here. So, first off, before we get into analyzing what happened with NASCAR on the weekend and what's coming up this weekend, let's talk a little bit about this, the Rivalz Elite program. Spencer, can we go full screen on this while we talk about this? We don't necessarily need the noise, but just go full screen on it. So, Adam, these are individual drivers in their own homes, tuning in, signing into the server, all racing against each other, similar to how your kids would be or your nephews would be on Fortnite all playing together. But these guys are racing together in a very serious simulation. And we've been kind of working this. This is our second full season with this. And we'll jump into the AMA later tonight for these guys. But this is live racing going on, Adam. What do you want to add to that?
Well, and the emotion is real because it's really challenging. I don't know what Kevin Lovey's is doing back in seventh. He is normally a challenger for a top spot, but it's great racing. It's great competition. And Fox Sports and NASCAR did it proud this weekend with the broadcast that they put on. So let's go ahead and talk about that, because as you can see, the graphics are decent. Now, the reason that image shows up a little blurry on my screen, in fact, it may not be when I look at, no, it's much clearer when I look at our Facebook broadcast, a whole lot better. We get kind of I don't want to say a dumbed down version, but a lower resolution version for what you and I are watching, Clinton, to keep it pushing out in the highest quality possible. But this is a good, entertaining product. I mean, look at that race for the lead. That's fantastic. That's two people going to town, and I guarantee you, if you could see their faces right now, there's a lot of determination going on.
Well, Jesse Costa's in that race, and if you tune in, folks, you'll see a lot of people from our racing world racing online in the iRacing. Tomorrow night we go on the pavement, so if you're a pavement racer or fan, join us on Blacktop Rivals on Wednesday nights, and that goes live around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Usually, Adam, we hit the air. 9 on
Nine
the
on
air for
air.
Blacktop Rivals. So that's tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. What time are you going to do your Thursday Mindwell session?
It'll start at 7 o'clock p.m., Clinton, and it'll probably last until, depending on the conversation, but generally there's good chatter with it, so it'll probably go till about 9 o'clock. And if you can, grab GoGo Gamble's comment there again, Spencer, and throw it up on the screen if you would, and then we'll get talking about something else to do with iRacing. Because we were supposed to have on the show tonight Brett Deo, promoter of the Short Track Super Series and recent promoter of an iRacing event this weekend that did not go the way he'd hoped. And I don't want to I'm sure Brett didn't want to talk about it. He did make it clear when I was chatting with him on the weekend that was his first and last foray into iRacing promotion. But here we go with Go Go Gamble. I've already replied in the chat, but what are your thoughts there, Clint?
Lap count on the board above 1 and 2. Can we count down rather than up so the fans know how many laps left? Good question. I don't know. We could look into it. It would be different than all the other scoreboards we typically go to the racetrack, but maybe I can
There
look
are
into it.
places there, there are places that do it, and I can't remember which ones, but I always find it annoying. And I don't know why, because in my mind I count up. Like that's part of what you do when you're covering races. In fact, like I can remember we used to go to places where they didn't have a scoreboard, and when I was learning to cover races from Rob Howden, you'd make tick marks, and then the yellow would come out. You'd have to figure out what lap you're going back to, and because when you wrote up the report, you need to know when lead changes happen. We didn't have all this electronic scoring. So when the race reports got written, you had just a flurry of notes. Maybe that's why I don't like the counting down as opposed to counting up, but it would be handy.
Well, it's math. If the counter goes up, we're having to do math in our head to figure out how many laps are left. If it went down, we have to figure out how many laps we already ran. There's math involved either way, I think. But for us, I, I I would guess that the software could probably just count down instead of up, but I'd have to ask Brittany or Doug on how that works. That maybe they could let us know. But I think it would be the equivalent of when you watch the European hockey and it goes the other way. They count up instead of down, and you're trying to figure out what the timing's left. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
which way you look at it, right?
So
But
I do want to carry on with iRacing, and I want to talk about Brett Deo's event and where I think they missed they missed in explaining. They could have promoted something that was really, really fun. But what they did, they had a group help put the event on, but the big thing was Stuart Friesen was going to be there, Mike Mahaney, Anthony Perego, a lot of the real names, and they were going to race against some iRacing pros, right? And Alex Bergeron, people like that. And can you tell what the issue is with that combination, Clint?
no, just tell me. I know where you're going with it, but I don't want to be on the wrong path.
The Stuart Friesen was going to get his ass handed to him because they're running dirt late models at Williams Grove. And you can't have you don't want to have Stuart Friesen get embarrassed. And I'm not saying he was, but Stuart Friesen's a competitive dude. He doesn't want to go out there and lay an egg. I almost think you have to flip it upside down, just like PGA runs the Pebble Beach Pro Am. Run it as a Pro Am type tournament. And I'm trying to put something like this together on iRacing, but your real racers become the amateurs. So instead of the PGA, where you take a celebrity and pair them with a professional golfer, and the professional golfer is better than the celebrity, well, in this case, you would pair an iRacer with an outdoor racer. But the iRacer is the pro because you're in their neck of the woods. So if you took, say, Alex Bergeron, and let's use Corey Turner because I've never seen him turn a lap on iRacing. Well, Alex Bergeron's going to do so much better, which is why you wouldn't necessarily want them on the track at the same time racing against each other because Corey Turner is going to get upset because he can't keep up. He's supposed to be the sprint car driver and someone's on iRacing doing better than him. But I think if you ran some sort of an event where they both competed against people in their own discipline, so put Corey Turner and Mac DeMann and Matt Farnham and Scott Kruder out on the track together, pair them with an iRacer, and they'll go out in the next race and each earn points. I think you could have a really fun, really entertaining product, and the chatter would be great. But the way people are doing it, and I'm really surprised it worked out as well as it did for NASCAR on Fox, uh, because with Denny Hamlin winning. But I guess I'm surprised Denny Hamlin won that race. Let's put it that way.
So what you're saying is, I see it a different way. I agree with what you're saying, but we talked in our chats with our crews last weekend trying to figure out. Okay, you've got all these people who jump in on the simulation who take it seriously. You've got a few racers who take that type of level of practice, setup, and the discipline with the iRacing. Then you've got a whole nother group of racers that we know who actually race, the guys you mentioned, similar to a McDeman, a Scott Kruger, who aren't in the leagues with us, who aren't up maybe in the upper echelon, but they are iRacing. So we've been talking about ways to get all of those guys involved, and this is one of the ideas you come up with. One of the other things I talked to is, we've got all kinds of guys out there who we know who have iRacing. But just like you said, don't want to come out and get waxed by these guys who are working on their iRacing setup when these other guys are really working on their real race cars out there. So they don't have time and effort to put in the simulator that these other guys do to get up to the deal. I think we need to take them out of their discipline. For example, let them race straight stocks or something else. We talked about even stadium trucks or all kind of pro trucks. So take the sprint car guy and put him in something that he's not supposed to be good at. And I think
Absolutely.
they'll have a lot more fun doing that. And those are ways we've tried to reach out to. So if you're one of those guys who is one of our regular racers who races with us on a Friday night, let's say, and who isn't in the leagues, tell us what we could do to get you guys involved in a league where where you don't have to spend the hours and because we talked about it, they would draw a crowd for us. Let's face it. If we could get all you guys racing, we have commentators, we could draw a great crowd. But the racing product isn't going to be iRacing A plus elite. It's going to be B plus because you guys
Which
don't
is
put time.
why we would plug in audio from these drivers so they could talk to each other goofing around and not take it too seriously, but it'd be entertaining and fun. And these are things, folks, if you could listen to some of the conversations Clinton and I have and some of the, not arguments, but disagreements that we have, discussions that we have, you'd think we have way too much time on their hands.
We do.
Yeah, Dusty, my rig looks just like Denny Hamlin's, only not at all. We have one monitor, we have a Kirky racing seat, and it's mishmashed together, sitting up on some cinder blocks, but we get by with it. I'll get some pictures of it and we'll share it here at some point.
Let's talk about NASCAR's deal, Adam. So they've had to pick things up. Obviously, last Sunday was a test. They've announced more details to come about a virtual Texas race this weekend. I think they're doing a good job trying to keep things current. What I was most impressed with is their setups was a lot like ours. Their broadcast was a lot like ours. I didn't see them do much more than of the things than we could provide. So it was really cool to kind of validate a lot of stuff we had going on. Here's a look at some of their stuff. I don't know if we got any audio for this, Spencer, or not.
And something else that you saw the race analysis from Larry McReynolds.
So this is from Sunday.
Saving tires is going to be a very important aspect of the strategy. So you might want to push here early, like we see William Byron trying to take the lead from Garrett Smithley right here at the beginning, and he wants that clean air. Then he's going to back off and try to pace himself to maintain as much rubber with those tires and grip on the longer run.
Hard. I'm listening to you guys play-by-play of what's going on in front of me, as I'm just going to let the 22 go by.
Oh, we got to check up.
See, I can't hear it.
I'll be your spotter.
What happened?
Ross Chastain and William Byron got together going into one.
It's still green.
It's still green.
Wait, you get the idea. I thought it was fairly good, Adam.
Oh, my God.
What are your thoughts on how it came off?
I thought it came off really, really well myself, Clinton. I thought it was a great broadcast. I thought everyone took it seriously the way I feel they needed to. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with the way it came out for their first go. I mean, they probably had a few executives biting their nails and wondering, are we doing the right thing? We've seen a couple other situations where they tried to get it together. And I was happy. I thought they did a good job keeping us, like I said, out in the market, keeping us current. And we'll see what this Sunday holds for their broadcast as well. We were a bit tied up, so I didn't get to watch it all. I got to see about the first 20 minutes of the broadcast, and then we had to get back on with our live online streaming meetings for Schweekend. But quickly, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about some of our sponsors, what's going on right now. You had a message from Brian's. I'll let you pull up there. They are shut down for a little while because of the situation. I know Burger Barn is still out offering curbside and pickup. Jibs is open online, and check out the Bingo Hall for their latest deals as well at Six Nations Bingo. So just want to mention, make sure you're keeping a lot of our sponsors in your thoughts as we move into this situation a bit deep. We've got at least a couple more weeks to go, but I'm sure, and I know all of our viewers and fans will come back and really help these businesses pick things up. And that was one thing I shared last week. Remember all the drivers, all the businesses you went to all the years for sponsorship and help. This is the time we got to pull them out. They're calling for help, and it's time for us to answer the call. So, but that's one thing. We knew that'd be good with the racers. They're going to pull it all together, no problem.
And there's something else that we're going to start doing, folks. If you have sponsors or if you're involved in a business that we can help out somehow, let's spread the word on how we can support people in and around the Speedway, in and around our sport. Support local, do the things we can do to help people out, whether someone has a product or a service that would be relevant to folks right now who are spending most of their time at home. Please feel free to let us know. Use the comments, get in touch with us, send us a message. Anything we can do to help those businesses, I think, is a great thing.
So Rivalz Elite Pro is going on. What is that? The B main there, Adam, up now? 12 laps. I think
that
would
is,
be the B
yeah,
main.
that is the B main. I'm trying to figure out where Connor is. He transferred through the C and into the B. I think he's in 9th.
Pull up the call of the race there for a minute, Spence. We'll listen to a couple laps of the B main
here.
In the
Rivalz Elite Pro Series in quite a while. I even remembered the hometown.
Whoa.
How about that? Field streaks across the line here. 6 laps on the board. We are officially halfway. 6 in and 6 to go. As we are rocketing right along here tonight in Rivalz Elite Pro Series action. Again, tonight is round number 18 of 20 as Brad Ovens dials up the onboard camera here on Stephen Goldner's card. What a view. Now we'll take a look at the right front tire as he works through turns 3 and 4. And look how slick this racetrack is getting. This is going to make for a very, very exciting feature race coming up. Adam Buchanan looks like he's the only car tonight here to make the field. Oh, look out, Swafford's upside down. The driver out of Kentucky caught the wall in turn number 4 and put it up on the left side tires. He's going to have to clear the track. He'll be done with this B main. I was talking about Adam Buchanan there for a second. Buchanan, the only driver here tonight out of the DirtTrackDigest.com, DirtTrackDigest.tv team. Wicked Energy Relief on the side of the 44 as we take a peek here at Kevin Lovey's your leader. 2 laps to go this time for Lovey's out of Drummondville, Quebec, Canada. White flag is in the air. Final trip by here for Kevin Lovey's. The Glenn Stiers Racing Ohsweken Speedway Racehorse number 18 will take the B main win.
It looks amazing, man. I just drool when I see that. It definitely gets me excited, and it could almost scratch that itch for me for the next little while. So if you're not watching, folks, we've got some great programming on GeForceTV.net. As Stephen Ovens will say, sign up for notifications, ding the bell, and ring the bell, and you will get notified every time a race comes on. And you never know which one of your friends or fellow racers could be in the GeForce Racing Leagues, the Rivalz Pro Elite Divisions, and Rivalz Blacktop. We've got a lot of great competitors out there, and the A-Main is coming up to cap off our show here in about 5 minutes. So stick with us. We'll wrap things up here.
5-minute warm-up session, and then they'll line up for the feature event. And you will be entertained. If you like racing, you'll be entertained. We had a comment earlier saying, why don't we have a 360 race or an iRace with the 360 racers from the Speedway? I think we need to open it up even more than that and open it up to the personalities from Ohsweken Speedway. Because Ryan Beagle is a phenomenal sprint car racer. He'll be in this race here tonight from our Thunderstock division. We'd have crew members who do very, very well. But that's kind of the idea we want to run with, is showcase some of our locals, have some fun events, ways that we can just ways we could just get together and enjoy each other's company and have some fun for a few hours and kind of forget that we're in very challenging times, Clint.
Yeah, let's talk about the NASCAR Pinty Series race at Weekend Speedway coming up August 18th. We're still in meetings constantly with NASCAR about how that's all going to come together. The race format should be ready to be announced here in about a week or two, I would think, to get everything officially out. We had a conference call again yesterday. We're still getting inquiries from all kinds of drivers and teams all over the place. So I'm excited to see who actually comes out from behind the curtain at the end of this, Adam. We've talked a lot about drivers. We've got Stuart Friesen coming up. You got Kenny Wallace, Kenny Schrader. The list goes on and on of drivers who are going to be in this deal. So, but when you talk to some of the owners out there, they've got lists of drivers who are calling trying to get in this race, but there's nobody telling me any names yet. So some of them are local guys, some of them are from the outside ranks, but there's been no shortage of interest for team owners I know, and a lot of them are holding on to see what kind of bucks they can pull in for a rental on this deal. So what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are there's a lot of drivers out there who have the potential to be really, really good in a race that's going to be really, really challenging. Nobody's ever seen a race quite like this at Weekend Speedway. So who knows what's going to happen? Who knows who'd be the hot shoe? Is it a sprint car ace? Is it a Thunderstock racer who's got the best chance? Are we going to be surprised by an outsider coming in that we never anticipated and turning some laps and turning some heads?
Spencer, can you put up Gary Short's question there about iRacing? I'd like Adam to address that if we can before we jump back to the Rivalz Elite Pro coming up here shortly. There it is, Adam. Adam, how do you get started in iRacing, and should you practice for months before you enter? I have time on my hands now. Gary.
Yes and no, Gary. It's easy to get involved in iRacing. We use a really low buck PC at our house. We don't have a real expensive gaming computer, and it works just fine. You'll want to invest in wheels and pedals. If I were to get started, I would say probably Logitech G29. You probably spend about $500 on the steering wheel and pedals. It'll plug right into your computer. Then all you need is to buy the iRacing service, and you will spend a lot of time, and it will be very, very frustrating because it's a lot harder than it looks. But that's how you start and cut your teeth and spend some time. I think you'd have a blast doing it. As we said, Ryan Beagle is very, very successful in a sprint car. He sits on a chair at his kitchen table and does his thing. Other people have fancy rigs and either triple monitors or virtual reality headsets. But Gary, shoot me a message and I'll let you know. And right now you can order anything you need off of Amazon and they'll drop it right off at your door. So all you really need is a solid internet connection and a little bit of spending cash.
All right, thanks a lot, Adam. I think I'm going to have to get involved in that eventually. I think that's my fear. I'd be spending way too much time out there getting ready to go. Now, is this the B main or is this the A main, Spencer?
No, that's the A main. Let's sign off real quick and enjoy this A main. The show's going to be fantastic, Clinton. Thursday night's the Mindwell session, 7 o'clock. Look for posts everywhere you see posts for this, and we'll have it up. And it's time to go racing.
Thanks, everybody. We'll turn it over to Brad Ovens with the production, Steve Ovens with the call. Here we go with Rivalz Elite Pro from Lernerville. Thanks, everybody.
Out all over the place here on this racetrack. Keith Jackson solidly right there in the 2 spot. Cody Hartlaub in one of his better efforts of the season right now, running in position number 3. He had a great run out at Williams Grove just a couple of weeks ago after a season that Hartlaub wouldn't necessarily write home about. And here comes Brandon Schultz. Look out, here comes Schultz to the outside. Brandon Schultz is on a mission. He's up to 3rd and he's on the tail tank of Keith Jackson. You remember how hard they raced in the heat race? Well, that was just a heat race. This is the big show right here. Schultz puts it up on the cushion in turns 1 and 2. These guys battled it out here just a few weeks back with the G-Force Racing League. Put another quarter in the bucket. As here comes Schultz, the Vanderbilt race cars. Buyoil.com, number 193. Jackson took a peek down to the inside, couldn't make it work. He'll slide back out in front of Schultz as they go to turn 3. Boy, it's a good thing they don't run mirrors here because Dakota Kuhn would have an awful lot of action happening behind him. Schultz puts that right rear on the cushion off turn 2. Schultz, he's up to 2nd as you ride on board with him there on the 3-9 Productions camera. Oh, Kuhn got sideways off of turn 4. Look out, they're bottling up there back in the back half of the top 10. As now Kuhn has got company. Look at the big dog biting down on the bottom. Here comes Ryan Beagle. Schultz took a peek down to the bottom for the lead off turn 4. Couldn't make it happen. It's still Dakota Kuhn out front. But here comes Ryan Beagle. Beagle, don't forget, he was all the way back in 8th spot in his heat race, put it down on the inside of the racetrack and drove all the way to a qualified spot, and he's starting to flex some muscle here in tonight's A-Main. Beagle with a beautiful run off of turn number 2 as he's battling here with Cody Hartlop. Battle for the lead off turn 4. Schultz down low, trying to pull the slider on Dakota Kuhn, and he'll do so. Kuhn turns it back underneath him. Wing to wing they go into turn number 3. Kuhn with a slider. Schultz had to hit the binders as DeKoon wasn't quite clear, but Schultz will live to see another lap. Here comes Schultz with a slider of his own. Tries to shut the door, but Kuhn is there, and yellow lights are on for the first time tonight. Whoa. Everybody gets to take a breath. I gotta take a breath. My goodness. One of the best races we've seen in the last couple of weeks here for the lead. And boy, it's a shame that yellow flag came out because we were about to have a 4-car race for the lead as Hartlaub got around the 84 of Beagle for the 3rd spot. And Brandon Schultz will be the leader of the race. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh, Alan Downey just got too far to the outside. Got the right rear over the edge and caught the wall, and especially here in turn 4 at Lernerville, that is so easy to do. You get that right rear over the edge, and the track, that cushion kind of flattens out a little bit where the cars roll on the racetrack. And boy, once you get into that area of no return, man, it is all over from there. So let's take a peek at your top 5. Brandon Schultz scored as the race leader, and this is based on timing and scoring around the racetrack. Schultz had pulled that slide job into turn 1. Kuhn was able to get back by him, but Schultz was the last car that was leading the race at that timing loop before the yellow flag came out. So Schultz has scored as the race leader. Dakota Kuhn right now in 2nd. Cody Hartlaub is 3rd. 4th is Ryan Beagle. Beagle started 9th. He's up to 4th already. And Trevor Gerbeau, it's a solid effort here so far. Started 3rd. He's right now in the 5th spot. Really our big mover of the race, I'd have to say, is Kevin Lovey's in the 18. He picked up the win in the B main. He started 13th, and he's currently in position number 7. Also having a good run here so far, Jason Nygaard started 11th. He's up to the 6th spot. Of course, Nygaard, the only driver carrying the Team ABR flag tonight. Our point leader, Alex Bergeron, who's got a whopping points lead coming into tonight, not available tonight due to a Pro Series race, so he is not here. Nygaard, the only guy carrying the Team ABR flag tonight, as Brandon Schultz getting ready to bring him back to green flag racing. 16 laps are on the board, 19 to go here at Lernerville, and look at the battle. 3 wide for just a moment off of turn 2. Kuhn's got company. Here comes Cody Hartlaub. Hartlaub puts the 2 on the cushion off turn 4. He's got the 2 spot. He'll work it into turns 1 and 2. It's Hartlaub, Kuhn, and now Jason Nygaard all in a row. 3 ducks lined up off of turn number 2 as they work the outside. Look at Kevin Lovey's right through the middle of the slick. Whoa. Beagle down to the inside. He'll go through the bottom of turns 1 and 2, and boy, it looks like the top is starting to really gain their groove here as Beagle, the lone wolf, down on the bottom. Being the lone wolf, something that the big dog not liking here so far, is he's now going to drift out to the outside and take it back down to the bottom. Yellow lights are on here for the 2nd time tonight. We've got a couple of cars mixed up on the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Looks like Adam Buchanan, one of those cars. And again, it's our second yellow flag of the event as we work lap number 21. We went just about 15 laps green flag racing here before our first yellow of the night. And let's take a look to see what happened here on the replay. Going to watch Buchanan down into turn number 1. And there it is. Yep, so easy to do here at Lernerville. As he entered the first turn, got that right rear. Boy, when he come back up on the racetrack, boy, did that car do a little bit of a dance. That's a little bit of that Sarver PA two-step. So Buchanan going to slide back to the 20th position here for the restart. Caution lights are on the Strickland GM pace truck. Lights will now go off this time by, and we will get a restart next time off of turn number 4. So Brandon Schultz, car number 193, driver out of the Bandy Built Race Cars team out of St. Paul, Minnesota. The Bandy Built Race Cars, Bioil.com, Wagaman Brothers, O2 Designs, number 193. He has collected a whole lot of hardware on the G-Force Racing League side of things, and he's really been performing well here with the Rivalz Elite Pro Series. Can he beat the Pro Series here tonight at Lernerville? Down the back chute they go, and right away the yellow flag is back out. We've got problems in turns 1 and 2. Caution lights on here for the third time tonight. So yellow lights are on here. And I see that we have got all sorts of folks that are chiming in here tonight on social media, as we have got an awesome 72 people watching live here right now. Great to have you with us. Oh, a couple of cars getting tangled up. Rosendahl and Connor Ross nowhere to go. No harm, no foul there for Ross. He'll continue on, as will Rosendahl. And we're going to go ahead and check in here in the comments. Let's take a peek and see what everybody's talking about here. If you're watching here on the Facebook page, I want you to go ahead and tell us where it is that you're watching from and what driver you think is going to pick up the win here tonight. So if you're watching here on the Facebook live video, and I see a whole pile of you are, take a peek here. Let us know where you're watching from. I want to know city, state, or province, and what driver you're rooting for here tonight at Lernerville. We are coming up on an exciting finish here at the Lernerville Speedway. Less than 10 laps to go, and it's Brandon Schultz that's currently leading this pack out of St. Paul, Minnesota, driving for the Bandy Built Race Cars team. I see a whole bunch of folks starting to chime in here about this race here tonight. We got more followers starting to come in. I see Josh from Des Moines, Iowa, rooting for Schultz. I got Rick from Morriston, Florida. Nolan thinks that Lovey's has to take it. Well, we'll find out here as the lights are still on the Strickland GM pace truck, that beautiful Chevrolet Silverado. We got, hey, Sherrills watching from Syracuse, New York. Happy to have you with us, man. We got Justin watching from Sacramento, California, rooting for Jack Clevenger here tonight. Scott Schultz watching from St. Paul, Minnesota. I have a feeling I know who he's rooting for. Got Greg Sweet watching from upstate New York. We calling for the Bob Miller Bugle. I love it. I love it. All right, here we go. Green lights are back on. We have got 6 laps to go here tonight at Lernerville for the Rivalz Elite Pro Series. Down the back straightaway they go. It's Brandon Schultz starting to extend that lead. He'll take 2, make it 3 car lengths into turn number 3. Cody Hartlaub closing in on him. Hartlaub out of Hanover, Pennsylvania, in the Glenn Stiers Racing number 2. Jason Nygaard, we haven't talked about him much tonight. watching here as he rose into position number 3, and he's battling for 2 up turn 4. Here comes Jason Nygaard with just 4 laps to go. And Jason Nygaard has found the cushion. Does he have something here? Alex Bergeron not here with us tonight, and it's been Nygaard that's been holding the Team ABR flag. 3 to go this time for Brandon Schultz. Down the back straightaway they go, and Nygaard is closing the gap in a hurry. Can Brandon Schultz out of St. Paul, Minnesota hold on to this one and get his first Rivalz Elite Pro Series win driving for Vanderbilt race cars? Off of turn 2 they go. Popsicle sticks were in the air this time by. Coming up on the white flag this time. Brandon Schultz brings it off of turn 4. White flag is out, presented by 3-9 Productions. Schultz, he takes it into turns 1 and 2. The Vanderbilt race cars, buyoil.com, Wagaman Brothers, O2 Designs number 193. He is going to do it. Brandon Schultz wins at Lernerville. Jason Nygaard will finish second after starting 11th tonight. Ryan Beagle's on the podium. The big dog will round out your top 3. Dakota Kuhn and Cody Hartlaw round out tonight's top 5. Positions 6 through 10 were Kevin Lovey's Trevor Grabeau, David Flick, Chase Swafford, and Jack Clevenger. Well, folks, if you were watching on the Facebook page and you were rooting for Brandon Schultz, you came home a winner here tonight. And we are going to get everybody ready to go here in Victory Lane. Top 3 drivers have made it to Lernerville Speedway Victory Lane. We'll get them stacked up for you here, and you will hear from your top 3 finishers here tonight. Stay tuned, folks. You are watching the Rivalz Elite Pro Series from Lernerville here live on G-Force TV. All right, we have got your top 3 here on the front straightaway. Brad, ready to talk to your 3rd place finisher tonight. And he made a good run of it here tonight, coming from position number 9. That, of course, is Ryan Beagle. And Ryan, a tough run in the heat race, but somehow you were able to get right back on the horse, get yourself qualified, and get yourself into the A-main tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a run like that. I kind of committed myself to the
Ryan
bottom.
Beagle, this is Steve Ovens. You got a copy here in the booth?
I think this is working. Yep, I can hear you.
Hey, there we go. I got you now, Ryan. My apologies. So tell us about your run in the A-main tonight. You started in position number 9, and you were really working that bottom lane until it seemed like the top side went a little dominant there at the end.
Yeah, the way they've been setting the racetracks up the last couple weeks, I was kind of hoping that the bottom would last a little longer than it did, but we got lucky there at the end. A couple guys got together racing for position on the top, and we squeaked by, so we'll take a third any time.
You had quite a race going on there with Kevin Lovey's for quite a while in the 18 car. A real spirited battle for position. Put on some good racing for our fans tonight.
Yeah, that was fun. I wasn't even sure who was around me. It gets pretty hairy down in there when we're all battling for one spot.
Absolutely, man. It's been such a crazy time in our world right now. A lot of drivers, a lot of racetracks. We're not exactly sure what to expect coming up. I know that you're one of those drivers that races yourself in the summertime, and this has got to be a good outlet with all of the things that we don't know about going on right now.
Yeah, but the only certain thing going on right now is Tuesday nights here online, so it's nice to have a little bit of normal stuff going on for one night anyway.
Absolutely, man. Well, we're glad to have you. A solid run. We had some people rooting for you here on Facebook, so you've got some fans out there. Tell us about all the people that make it happen for you.
Yeah, I just got to thank Glenn Stires Racing, NRAM Dynamics, Strickland's, and everybody that helps put this deal on, and you guys for doing the broadcast, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next week.
Hey, man, I know these interviews aren't your favorite, man, but we love talking to you. Great run tonight.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right, there's Ryan Beagle. There's a driver right there, folks, that he always tells me, man, I don't like these interviews. I get so nervous, but he does a hell of a job, and he certainly does a hell of a job out on the racetrack. All right, let's talk to your second-place driver here, Jason Nygaard. And, Jason, you were carrying the Team ABR flag tonight, and on that final restart, I thought you had something there for Schultz at the end.
I was honestly coming in tonight, I was just playing it safe because I have a really bad tendency to push 1 and 2 way too hard. So I was trying to stay away from trying to push that. But if we wouldn't have had the cautions, maybe I could have got to him. But other than that, I was just trying to get a solid run tonight.
How frustrating was it being that, you wanted to play it safe, but then when you got to second, how frustrating is it trying to balance that of wanting to race for the win, but knowing that, from past races, you got to play it safe?
It's, as Alex would usually say, if they make a mistake and you can capitalize on it, then I could have went for the win, but I was just playing it safe.
Awesome, man. I know that, with him not being able to make the show tonight, this has got to make you feel real good to be able to report back to the team that was still put it on the podium.
Oh, yeah, he'll be thrilled with how I finished tonight. I mean, I was coming in tonight just hoping for a top 10 and finish second. That's awesome.
Awesome, man. Hell of a job here for second place. I know you guys have got a lot of great supporters that make it happen for Team ABR. Tell us about them.
I gotta thank CSI Shock and their Pit Logic app, Next Gen Fab, Dirt Armada, Wicked Cushion, you guys for broadcasting, Cody for doing a heck of a job as the admin, and I think it's Oswego Speedway for the league. So.
Awesome, man. Great run here tonight for second, and we've only got 2 more to go here for the Pro Series. We'll see you at Volusia next week.
I'll see you then.
All right, there's Jason Nygaard coming home in a 2 spot, and I am absolutely thrilled as the voice of the Renegade division for the Force League when drivers that qualify out of there to get to come run with the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, when they come up here to the Pro Series, a league that has got a $10,000 point fund on the line, and one of our guys from the G-Force League comes up here and shows them how's it done, man, I get up on the chip. Brandon Schultz, congratulations, brother.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a really fun night. I really didn't expect to be on even the podium tonight. Lernerville, I know we won that big race, but Lernerville, we've never meshed well, so to come out with a win is pretty cool. I was just hoping to make the A main.
I had that thought in my mind as this race was closing in on the finish, and I did not want to say it because I have a tendency of being bad luck for drivers that I talk about things that do and don't like at the racetrack. So I tried to keep myself a little bit under control, but at the end of this race, Jason Nygaard started to close in a little bit, but then you just, essentially, as fighters like to say, stepped on their throats there in the last 5 laps of this race and really closed it out. How was your car there at the end?
The car was really good. I was really happy to see that top line be fast because that's kind of what we shoot for around here. I'm not really that great on the bottom, as it kind of showed in the heat. But, yeah, towards the late race, when Nygaard was coming, I was kind of just trying to hit my marks and really not push the car because I knew I had somewhat of a decent lead, but I didn't know how many cars he was behind me. So it was kind of like you can fly off this track really easily. So it was just hitting your marks and not using a whole lot of throttle.
Absolutely. Now, there is another piece to this too, and I don't want to make too big of a story of it, but what we see on Monday nights, we had that big super team of 10, 12 guys that now have split into 2 different directions. This is the first win in the Pro Series here for Vanderbilt Race Cars. That's got to be a big deal for the boys back at the shop.
Oh yeah, for sure, especially since it just happened. It was a mutual agreement. I wish them the best of luck. They're really good guys, but yeah, I'm really glad we could get a win, especially for, just throwing something together quick and having Jimmy throw me up a paint. And, yeah, it's just awesome to get one for the boys.
Absolutely, man. Is this I know you've competed with the Pro Series before, but is this the first win with the Pro Series?
Yeah, we've been close.
Okay.
We've been close a couple of times, but, yep, this is the first W in the Rivalz Pro Series.
Awesome, man. What a spectacular way to do it. And my goodness, if you can come do it at a track that maybe hasn't been the best mesh for you, boy, it's kind of scary to think what maybe you could do here in these final 2 races if we can get you up in there, man. Hell of a job tonight.
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Tell us about anybody else that you want to throw a plug out to here for the big W tonight.
All my teammates at BBR, Jesse Bandy, Kyle Moonen, Jeff Fitzpatrick, Trevor Graybow. I got to thank Next Level Designs. Jimmy Emery does awesome work, and I Buy Oil.
Awesome, man. Great job here tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, Brandon Schultz, your winner here tonight at Lernerville. Folks, if you enjoyed what you saw here tonight, I need you to do me a favor. You got to go over to youtube.com, search GeForce TV, and when you find the GeForce TV channel, click subscribe and then ring the bell, and you'll get push notifications every time we go live here on GeForce TV with new live content as well as on-demand content that you can share and enjoy at home anytime that you want to. We, of course, are here for the next 2 Tuesday nights here for the Rivalz Elite Pro Series right here on GeForce TV. And we will be heading to Volusia Speedway next week. Next Tuesday, we go to Volusia for round number 19 of 20. The following week is championship night. Round number 20 of 20 of the $10,000 plus point fund Rivalz Elite Pro Series from the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't forget, we'll be on air tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for a green flag for a 75-lapper at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the Rivalz Blacktop Series. We will have live coverage for you here on GeForce TV and 3-9 Productions. On behalf of everybody here with the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, Clinton Jeffrey, Adam Ross, our race director, Cody Olson, and our director of all things technology, Spencer Mullen. On behalf of our executive producer of the 3-9 Production Studio, Brad Ovens, my name is Steve Ovens, the voice of the Rivalz Elite Pro Series, saying thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations to Brandon Schultz out of St. Paul, Minnesota, his very first Elite Pro Series win here at Lernerville. Thank you for tuning in. Good night, everybody.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivalz Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivalz and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.